All right, hey, this is Mark Lane. I'm here with Mackenzie Boom. Mackenzie did some coaching with me last year, I think right about a year ago. So we are at her second flip. She just completed, in fact, over the weekend, she just accepted a full price offer. And on top of that, last week she also sold her first rehab, closed out of that, and got her profit. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough. Hopefully we'll be able to keep this down to just a couple minutes, but we're going to do a walkthrough, show you around just a little bit, and then she's going to talk to you a little bit about what she did to the house, as well as the profits that she's now earning. So follow us in. Okay, so this is address
1819 62nd Street in Des Moines.
Okay. So I think you said you've had this one, what, about 45 days?
Yeah, it'd be about 52 days now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 52 days. So anyway, so this one is completed. Like I said, she just accepted an offer on it. So I'm gonna let you take the reins. You go ahead and tell them what you did.
Sure. So, wanted to touch upon how I got the deal as well. A few months after I trained with Mark last year, I decided to get my realtor's license because I wanted to be able to list my own properties and also have access to the MLS. And so I ended up choosing to do this event where I set up a booth with all my realtor stuff at a kind of an open house event for a chiropractor friend of ours. And a woman came to my booth saying that she had her mother-in-law's house to sell. And she said that it was kind of distressed and that, it would take a while for them to be ready for the market. And I presented them a different option where they wouldn't have to lift a finger and they could sell it to me. And so that's how this deal came to be. So I came and visited the house a few times, connected with the mother-in-law and her kids, and walked through just once or twice or so. The house was, to give you an idea of what it looked like before, everything was different. So the bones of the house were really solid. It's not like we had huge drywall or windows or things that we had to do, but there was carpeting in here throughout, which had a very, very bad stench of cats and dogs having gone to the bathroom in the house for years or so. So we were glad that came out with the carpet. It smells much better in here now. So what we did in here, paint, texture on the ceilings. We put new LVT down on the floors throughout, and then staging in here. There was very little to do in this room. So, and then if I kind of turn you around, there used to be a closet right here where we were standing, and so it was only a small entrance from the living room to the kitchen. And when you're dealing with 760 square feet, which is what this house is, I wanted to make it feel as big as possible. So we opened up this to make it an open concept between the kitchen and the living room. So everything that you see in the kitchen is brand new. None of it was here before. It was a very inefficient layout initially. Like the stove here was tucked back there, as was the fridge. So we just, it was kind of a challenge the way that it was. So we went to Home Depot and just had them draw up a sketch of what this area could look like, and that's what we executed. So yeah, granite, backsplash, new custom cabinets. You've got that floor here again, and yeah, I don't know, you've got a very functional, solid kitchen here. So
Just a real quick snapshot of the bathroom as well.
yeah. Two bedrooms back in here, and then we completed this bathroom, which wasn't too much work. There was a window actually on that far wall, which we closed up, and we put an insert there, subway tile, and porcelain tile on the floors as well. One neat thing that I didn't know was possible actually, this is the original tub, and it was a blue tub when we first got the house, and we just painted it, and I didn't know that was a thing you could do, and that saved a lot of money instead of gutting it and putting in something brand new. It was just a couple $100 to have it painted, and you would never know. So we got a lot of compliments on the bathroom.
One thing I like about it, both the bathroom and the kitchen, those are two areas aside from curb appeal. The two areas that people look for, the two areas that people are decisions based off of the kitchen, the bathroom, and the space. Okay, so this house is limited on space because it's, what'd you say, 760. So when you're dealing with that, it's in a great area, right? So it's, people like the area, but when you're limited on space, you have to make other things pop. So she did a really good job making the kitchen and the bathroom both functional as well as they have a nice wow factor. So when people come in, if they're okay with the space and they like the area, then we want to instantly grab them with stuff like the staging and the feel of the house and the way the kitchen and the bathroom presents itself. So really good job with that stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to talk real quick about the numbers?
Yeah, numbers wise, I knew that this area for a 2-bedroom could pull, if we finished the basement, and we did finish the basement, could pull about 135 or so at the time. So backing my numbers off of that, I knew that an offer on this house from me to make it work where we had at least a 15 to 20% return on our investment, my offer had to come in at about 70, and luckily the sellers accepted that. And so I had also estimated that the rehab budget would be at about 25. We came pretty dang close to that. I think we ended at about 26 or so in the house. And so about 95, 96 into it. And then we sold over the weekend actually for 138, which is great. And then taking into account, closing costs and financing, et cetera, we will look to profit about a 17% return and $25,000. So
that's one thing we talk about, and one thing I helped her understand is that a lot of people, when they're getting into flipping houses, they're basing their decision off the profits, right? So they're seeing a profit of 30,000 or 20,000 or whatever it is, and that's what they're making their decision based off of. Well, things can quite easily get out of hand. Maybe you don't sell the house for as much as you had planned to. Maybe your expenses go over. If you're basing your decision solely off the profit, then there's a pretty good chance that you're not going to hit it, all right? But if you're making the decision based off of the ROI, your return on investment, that's basically going to dictate whether you're into a risky investment or whether you're into a very safe investment. So for the fact that she's focusing on 20%, because that's what we go off of, it almost guarantees that we're going to have a pretty good return and a handsome profit on that at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at about 25,000 profit.
Yes.
Okay. You just closed your last one. What did you end up with on that one?
That one netted about 30,000. That last one did, and I think that ended up being about the same, right? About 17, 18 ROI on that one.
Yeah. So in a year, you are now looking at, and of course, we didn't really get started. You didn't find your first deal until about six months into that.
Yeah.
So sometimes that can be normal, right? Sometimes it takes a little while to get business built up. So after 2 deals, though, you've now generated roughly $55,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So, and that's why I always tell people that there's no other way that I know of that a person can start a part-time business and generate $50,000 to $100,000 a year, right? And she's just getting started. This is just after 2 deals. So as she starts to grow and build up her acquisition and all that kind of stuff, it's going to get to where they're doing a deal a quarter, and then they're going to be doing a deal a month, and pretty soon that 50,000 a year is going to turn into 100, and then 150, then 200, and I think I know after talking to her, I know that one of their goals is for her to basically retire her husband to where he can do this full time because he loves this business. So that's one of their goals now, is to be full time into flipping houses as opposed to part time. So real quick though, I just kind of want to put that out there that that's one of the points of this business, is that it's doable, right? It's doable for average people. We're not extraordinary people. We're good people. Yeah. We're not extraordinary people. We don't have extraordinary talents or anything. We're average people that can do this business, but it's implementing the right strategies with the right tools and making the right decisions to where we have profits at the end of it. And it's not rocket science. It's just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and I think one final myth to debunk, something that I was afraid of in the beginning, and I know that other friends of mine have brought up, is Mackenzie, how in the heck are you able to put down? How are you spending $95,000 right now on these houses? And I am not $1 of that was my own money. So to make this happen, we use other people's money.
Right.
And there's a whole million chapters and books about that.
Yeah.
But
that's one thing I like to teach about too, is using other people's money. And here's one thing to understand, is that there's people that want to lend you money. Yes, you have to find them, and which I can teach you and show you how to do that. But there's people that want, not that are okay with any, that want to lend you money because they make money by lending you money. Okay, so that's one of the things that's critical to understand, is that not only can you find money, it's relatively easy to find money when you find good deals, because there are people out there that would love nothing more than to lend you that $100,000, because they're going to turn around and make $5,000 or $6,000 off of that, just simply by lending you out their money. There's people that have excess money that's sitting in an account, that's sitting in the bank, that needs something to do with it, and if you could show them a solid return and a way for them to get their money back plus extra, they would love to lend you the money.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's about it. So guys, I appreciate you watching. Again, Mackenzie Boom, you're going to see her in the future. She's going to be an all-star, and we'll see you soon.